With a rough start to the 2024 season, can the Oklahoma Sooners maintain their recruiting class and finish again in the top 10? Today on Sooner Born. All right. So Brent Venables is having a rough start to his third season at Oklahoma, but he has managed to put together some pretty good recruiting classes over the years, finishing in the top 10. And people are wondering, how is he going to keep these recruits on board after a few decommitments already? In an article by Yardbarker, they went over a few things and discussed what Brent Venables had to say about that. So I'll start with this. They say it was pretty evident that something was going to have to change for the Sunas offense with the way their inaugural season in the SEC was going. Oklahoma had one of the worst offenses in the country, and had mustered just 12 points combined against Texas and South Carolina. So it came as no surprise that Brent Venables make the call to fire offensive coordinator Seth Littrell. The search for a new offensive coordinator began in earnest behind the scenes, but for now, co-offensive coordinator Joe John Finley will take over as play caller, while analyst Kevin Johns has been elevated to offensive coordinator / quarterbacks coach. Despite the poor performance of the offense and the Sooners losing one of their coordinators, they have yet to really see a dip in the recruiting that typically occurs following a major firing. Oklahoma has built one of the best recruiting classes in the country for the 2025 class, and the momentum seems to be continuing on pretty strong as they push for their fourth straight top 10 class. Seth Littrell was not heavily involved in recruiting for the Sooners beyond a few recruits. However, head coach Brent Venables was quick to surge the worries of some of their future recruits over the state of the Sooners moving forward. That's what he had to say. At the end of the day, the vision is for us to have a high-scoring, explosive, diverse offense that recruits are going to want to play for. There's a body of work here at the University of Oklahoma. We can have the best coaches on the planet here in coaching, venturing and developing, and we'll have that. That's really been the message for recruits and certainly their families at the end of the day. Okay, so a high-scoring offense would be a welcome move after this season, and it's something Oklahoma fans and recruits are much more familiar with over the last decade. It sounds like Venables already has a vision for the offense in the future. Now, this situation is still a first for Oklahoma. The last time the Sooners fired a coordinator mid-season was when they fired Mike Stoops back in 2018. Before that, it has been decades. Coordinators at Oklahoma tend to go forward to become head coaches, not getting fired. How this plays out moving forward will be key for Oklahoma. For now, the Sooners are rolling on despite the encountering a pretty steep speed bump. And a speed bump it has been. Rough start to the season, not knowing like anybody hoped. But still, they're maintaining the recruiting class thus far. Let's see. They still have, 21 commitments right now. Michael Fusi, offensive tackle, 6'5", 299, from Louisville, Texas. He is 5-star by most accounts. Ryan Foji, offensive tackle, 6'5", 295. And he's a 4-star, ranked pretty highly on most people's boards. Cortez Mills, wide receiver, 6'1", 165 pounds. He's out of Florida. Elijah Thomas, 6'1", wide receiver from Chakota, Oklahoma. We also got C.J. Nixon from Weatherford. He is a 6'5", 216. He's an athlete, played on the D-line. In high school, we'll see what he does in college. Trent Wilson, 6'2", 260. He is a defensive lineman, and he's out of Maryland. We got Tristian Hayes, cornerback, 6'2", 160, out of Midwest City, Oklahoma. Went to Carl Albert. Marcus Harris, wide receiver, 5'11", 185. He is out of Mater Dei, the famous high school out there in California. Maran Robinson, another safety, 5'11", 185. And he's out of Little Rock, Arkansas. A 4-star on most people's. All these people are 4 stars, by the way, that I've mentioned so far on most websites. Trinae Washington, 6'3", 205, out of Carl Albert, Oklahoma City. Torrey Blaylock, running back, 5'10 and a half, 195, out of Houston, Texas. You know, his dad played in the NFL. He was a pretty good player for a little bit. Marcus Wimberly, a safety, 6 feet, 200, out of Arkansas. And we have Emanuel Choice, wide receiver, 6'4", 190, out of Lancaster, Texas. Kevin Sperry, 6'1", 200, quarterback, out of Denton Guyer. Also played for Carl Albert, I believe, for a season in Oklahoma. Courtland Gillery, cornerback, 6 feet, 170, out of Houston, Texas. He's kind of a 3-star on most people's list. Grayson Harris, wide receiver, 5'9", 160, out of Ennis, Texas. Another 3-star guy. Darius Afalave, however you say that. Sorry if I messed up your name. Another 3-star player. Interior offensive lineman, 6'4 and a half, 330 pounds, out of Utah. Malik Hawkins, brother of Michael Hawkins Jr., cornerback, 6'1", 175, out of Allen, Texas. Marcus James, linebacker, 6'3 and a half, 210, another person from Carl Albert, out of Oklahoma City. Alexander Shield Knight, he's an edge player, 6'3", 220 pounds, out of Wagner, Oklahoma. Owen Holenbeck, interior offensive lineman, 6'2 and a half, 340, out of Melissa, Texas. So those are who the people they have signed up so far. Well, not signed up, but they're committed, and hopefully they'll sign. Hopefully they can get a couple of more good recruits and try to get another top 10 recruiting class for the University of Oklahoma. We'll see how it turns out moving forward. Things are looking a little tough, and let's just try to win a couple more games, make a bowl game. Get a new offensive coordinator at the end of the season if things don't work out with Joe John Finley and Kevin Johns. And I know they will be having an extensive search for the next offensive coordinator. So all we can do is wait and see how it plays out. Thank everybody for hitting the like button. Please subscribe if you haven't already. I appreciate each and every person. Had a lot of people subscribing here lately, and man, really, really appreciate it. Let's go out here and beat Ole Miss. Boomer Sooner.